Hey gang, welcome back to 31 Days of Halloween. Today is day number 14, I believe. If that's wrong, it'll be in the description below. I've watched so many horror movies this past couple weeks, it's crazy. And I watch them all the time anyway, but I've rewatched so many great things that I haven't watched in a long time just due to the fact that there's so much stuff to watch. But, the 14th, we're going to talk about Return of the Living Dead. One of, if not the best, horror comedies of all time. A true, funny gore fest. It's crazy. It's directed by Dan O'Bannon, who is responsible for just a couple directorial things, but mostly known for other things. Writing, he wrote Life Force and Dark Star, which of course are Carpenter films, and he wrote a small film that ended up being pretty good. Wrote the screenplay and stuff for you might have heard it. It's called Alien, 1979, from Ridley Scott. I don't talk about it very much, but anyway, The Return of the Living Dead is kind of like I like to call it an alternate universe sequel. If you take the two creators of Night of the Living Dead, all right, we got a writer and a director here, and a writer. Okay, let's just put John Russo and George Romero. All right, Night of the Living Dead is right here. It splits. Okay, over here you get Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and all that. Over here you get Return of the Living Dead, which you can go either way on which way you like down the road. It doesn't matter. I have much respect for Day and Dawn. I do like the films, but this film right here is one of the best. One of the best as far as zombie films go. It's almost to the point where it makes fun of itself in the genre, but it's just one of those that you really got to see. It's just hilarious. This is where we see the first. Well, I can't say it's the first, because I really don't know. Well, let's just say in this film we know that they are craving brains, and they do a really cool concept of catching a zombie and talking to the zombie, and the zombie tells them why they eat brains. It's because it negates the pain that they're going through. It hurts to rot, is what the zombie says. Eating brains causes them not to hurt anymore. So who are we to say don't eat brains? But anyway, basically, Night of the Living Dead. It is mentioned after Night of the Living Dead, the cleanup from the army supposedly put these containers in this building for medical supplies. Of course, the army has no idea what they've done with them, but these guys do. Well, there's a new hire, and the old guy that works there talks him into going downstairs. You want to see where these are? So, yeah, well, it makes the mistake of cracking one open, and the fumes get out, and the reanimation starts. And we get some really, really cool, gory, funny moments. It automatically reanimates a corpse upstairs that they have in the freezer to sell to colleges, a fresh cadaver in the thing. Well, it reanimates. Funny things like half dogs that are for display for kids to look at, like the intestines, and dissect and look what's on the inside of a dog, comes to life, and little silly things like that. And later we meet the famous Tar Baby, which is basically it's this funny zombie that is melted in goo, and it's where you first kind of hear brains. That's going with the brains. There's a group of these asshole kids that are waiting for their friend to get off of work. He works at the medical supply store, and they decide to go hang out in this cemetery titled Resurrection Cemetery. They go they go in there and hang out. Linnea Quigley, who is known for a lot of different horror movies of this caliber during the 80s, her name is Trash in the film, which is kind of fitting to the character. Decides to get up on a gravestone, takes all her clothes off, starts dancing, okay? Foreshadowing her death in this little speech she gives, which is kind of hilarious. Anyway, the boss comes in, is called in, they get this corpse, what are we going to do with it? Oh, I got a buddy across the street that has a crematorium. So they take it over there. After a few lies and things like that, they decide, they talk him into, let's cremate this. He cremates it, and the chemicals that were in the air that went in the body go up the smokestack, cause it to rain, and cause all the dead bodies to rise and start zombifying. They are fast, attacking, funny. I mean, there's even a zombie that crawls into an ambulance and calls for more ambulances so that more people can come and they can eat. It's just a fun time. It doesn't take itself too serious whatsoever. It's not a silly movie. It's not like, what the fuck, this is B-rated, stupid. No, it's a great film. It really is. It's really funny. If you are a fan of zombies and you haven't seen it, well, if you're a fan of zombies, you've seen this. But if you're into some horror this time of year, it's a fun one to pick up. I did upgrade this to Blu-ray, even though it did come with the DVD, because I found it for $5, and the copy I had was horrible. But yeah, Return of the Living Dead. It doesn't get much better than that. So I had to include this in 31 Days of Halloween. I hadn't watched it in a very long time, and it's a lot of fun. So I will see you guys tomorrow for day 15. Have a nice evening. Later.